Well, first up this evening, the political exchange over the national education policy's three-language formula intensifies in Tamil Nadu. Even as the DMK has taken out that massive protest that you see on your screens against the centre in Chennai claiming imposition of Hindi under the NEP's three-language formula, the BJP has launched a door-to-door signature campaign in favour of that policy in Tamil Nadu. The contention is over the three-language policy, which the centre says has no element of imposition of Hindi and that the third language could be any other Indian language, whereas the DMK has turned it around into a narrative of Hindi imposition. Let's just listen in to the political reactions that came in earlier in the day.
तमिलनाडु में अनेक स्कूलों में अभी भी त्रिभाषी फॉर्मूला में पढ़ाई हो रहा है। जितने सारे सीबीएसई स्कूल है, तमिलनाडु में जितने सारे स्कूल है उसमें सीबीएसई पढ़ाया जा त्रिभाषी माध्यम से पढ़ाया जा रहा है, लेकिन वो स्टूडेंट के आग्रह के ऊपर है। किसी को जबरदस्ती पढ़ाया नहीं जाता है। एक आजाद भारत में कोई भी भाषा को किसी के ऊपर लादा नहीं जा सकता है, कोई भी भाषा को इसे रेस्ट्रिक्ट किया नहीं जा सकता है।
How can he say that this is a concurrent list and the states have every power? But he says that three-language formula should be followed. If that is the case, he should stop funds for all the Hindi language speaking states because they are not studying any third language. They are not even studying the second language. I don't know how many schools are teaching English in those states. Let him stop funds for them, then let him come to Tamil Nadu.
Well, so that political face-off playing out in the streets of Chennai. Joining me now, NDTV Sam Daniel and senior journalist from The Hindu, Narayan Lakshman, who tracks Dravidian politics very closely. First to you, Narayan Lakshman. The argument from the centre is categorical that the three-language principle does not involve imposition of Hindi and it could be any third Indian language. The DMK, of course, retaliating with a strong political argument to the imposition of NEP. How do we cut beneath the politics to see the core of this issue, A? And B, is language still that emotive political issue in Tamil Nadu that it was many years ago?
Absolutely, Viragov. I think it has a long and I would say either colorful or checkered history in terms of the protest in this state against what is called Hindi imposition. Hindi imposition is actually a political rallying cry in the state where it's a highly emotive, sloganeering issue from the early days of the Dravidian movement, going as far back as the 1930s, but certainly well past the independence movement and well into the 60s. And well, of course, 1967, when the Dravidian parties decisively won mandates in the state successively from that point on. Language was a core issue. It was seen as the vector along which the Dravidian parties would protest for state autonomy couched in the language issue. And so every time there's been any policy that has tried to tinker with whatever formula was already in place, which obviously prioritizes Tamil, but then equally accepts English, anything that disturbs that two-language formula is seen as striking at the very heart of Dravidian values within the political system. Even today, obviously, the form in which it manifests keeps changing over the decades. But one cannot ignore this long history if one is to look at the current day politics of the language issue. So I don't think this is going to go away with just this mere clash between Mr. Pradhan and Mr. Stalin. I think this is going to be a much more protracted issue. It's obviously going to involve the legal system and so on, the challenges that go to court. So I think this is going to carry on for a while.
Right. And most importantly, one that has an emotive electoral connect. At least that's what Sam Daniel, the DMK, would be hoping for, given the kind of emotive history that Narayan has been pointing out. How does the DMK plan to play, forward on this matter, given that the centre has also categorically said this, and on the other hand, the BJP launching a grassroots offensive as well in Tamil Nadu?
Almost like a poll bugle sounded both by the ruling DMK in Tamil Nadu and the BJP, both trying to use this issue to score political brownie points, particularly with elections 1 year away in Tamil Nadu. As we speak, Udayanidhi Stalin is speaking. We'll have to wait and watch whether he's going to make any announcements in terms of this start will take any further stronger shape. That's something we'll have to wait and watch. But as you said, the BJP is going to launch a door-to-door campaign to get the sense of the people on the ground, and it feels that there is overwhelming support for its cause of the three-language policy, and with that it hopes to take it to the president to give a sense that what the ruling DMK claims here is far from the truth, from what people want. That's what it's hoping to do. But how much of that will have a kind of a legal value, that's something we'll have to wait and watch. But certainly with the BJP drawing a blank last time, it's hoping that this issue will strike a chord on the ground to be able to expand its footprint. From the ruling DMK side, they hope this could be a rallying point which could bring together all their allies and in that sense consolidate themselves, and they will have a stronger narrative to take it to the people in the 2026 assembly elections. If this continues, the kind of a standoff continues, but Dharmendra Pradhan saying that the funds for central ongoing educational projects will not be released unless the state complies with the new education policy in its entirety.